Science Journal, entry number 1.
Station Orion, day 1. With our backs steady to our entry vehicle, we, the crew of the Equinox, made a bumpy but rather successful landing on the Mars surface. I will now convene with Commander Cochran and Science Officer Callahan to assess our life support system and begin our diagnostics on the terraform generator.
Sorry to interrupt, Captain.
Gary was super funny, super clever. The tone was set early on very well with the actors in this one. It reminded me of something that could be on SNL. It was that good. I was also really impressed with all the set pieces and the setting that they were able to create this film in. I thought that the premise was hilarious. I also really enjoyed the twist at the end. It sort of went from comedy to dark comedy, which was really well done and didn't take away from the comedy at all. I thought it was great. And the ending, of course, with the irony of the fact that they're going to have to go through it all again, also really funny. I thought this was a great film.
Gary is a science fiction film, and it's set aboard a spaceship that's orbiting, I guess, the Earth, and the crew of scientists are on a long mission, at least a year or more. Now, the kind of people who are scientists and have the tremendous self-discipline to exist in confined spaces with individuals are rare. Most of us couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. What makes this film so clever and funny is you have two typical scientist characters. The Captain Lucius, played by Dorian Lockett, and Commander Cochran, played by Bailey Hopkins. Now, one of the things that they're required to do is to show something, an object that means something to them and helps them cope. Well, the captain and the female scientist have eminently sane little touchstones. You won't say what they are. You'll find out soon enough when you watched it. But into every mix, there must be a grain of sand. And in this case, it's Gary. And Gary's device or thing that he carries with him, it makes a lot of noise. And this tests our intrepid scientists. Well, after much scheming, they finally find out that Gary's going to be replaced. And in the finale, you realize it never rains, but it pours, even if you are in space. Take a look. It's a funny film. I liked it. The David Verhoff seems to be a creative person behind it, and clearly it has the mark of someone with their chops in modern comedy.
Gary was extremely funny. If someone brought a pitch to me of just the concept of a crew slowly being driven mad by the game of Boggle, I'll admit that's not something I would have expected. I just love the crew's slow descent into insanity just from games of Boggle. But speaking of, I do also love the design of the ship. The VFX is absolutely breathtaking. And I love the twist at the end that just I personally like to think that Gary got reincarnated, and this is just his way of revenge for getting murdered. But all in all, I definitely enjoyed this one.
Gary is a fun little, piece. Cabin fever, annoying, everything annoying. It was funny. It was nice and sweet and little, like small scale for such a large scale hypothetical type situation, like being trapped in this like research space. And I think all three performances did really well. Like how it's like it's like a regular space drama, and then boom, Gary pops in. That was really funny, and yeah, it was overall pretty solid.
So the crew that just could not escape Gary. So this was a funny movie. It was a good premise. It looked great. I love the effects and all the outer space stuff. Yeah, and it was neat that they were doing an epic outer space piece while, it's a small, intimate story, that we just had 4 actors appear on screen. So yeah, that was really cool that they pulled that off. Cannibalism, I can't really endorse that, but it was funny in a terrible way. But yeah, all the actors did a great job. These 2 very nice people were just dismantled into subhuman states because of Gary. And Gary was kind of a sociopath, I guess. But yeah, everybody did a great job. So excellent work there. So this was a lot of fun. Yeah, I hope it does well for the team, because it was done really well.
Gary, loved this piece. I think that very heightened drama throughout with the very cinematic music harkened back to the great American space movie. And I think playing on those tropes and that parody was brilliant. I think all the actors towed that fine line of parody with humor and complete commitment to it, which is not always easy to do, but they did it so brilliantly that I was so glad that everybody was playing in the same game, in the same realm. Just very skillful performances and a skillful execution of the piece. I thought the set dressing, the technology, the vision of the piece helped me really buy into the world. So while I was laughing to myself about the cheekiness, I was happy to buy in because it was so professionally done and deeply, deeply funny.
All right, I just finished watching Gary, which was a really great sci-fi piece. It was quite funny. What I enjoyed about Gary was that normally with these type of concepts, they're very heavy and dark, and Gary was able to take the same aesthetic but inject a level of humor that really created levity and made the concept feel a lot more original than you would expect. There's a great range of the style of humor that is on play while the crew goes crazy with Gary and his hijinks in terms of the game and how he's dealing with everybody around him. And I thought that the acting in particular, when you have this type of concept, is so important, and everybody in this piece acted so well, and there was just such a range of emotions and a range of performances that I really enjoyed, in particular with the scene in the shower and towards the end and how they wrapped up the narrative. I just thought overall it was just very well done and clearly well thought out and well constructed, without just a sense of humor but a good sense of style. So I ended up really enjoying Gary and thought it was a very funny piece.